Hi, it's Terry Gaines. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'm going to give you some assembly tips on creating a card using the In the Pine stamp set. I love this stamp set for all the different pine tree images along with the versatility of the two sentiments, thinking of you and seasoned greetings, which will allow you to make cards for many different occasions. The card I'm going to create today, I am using Seaside Spray cardstock. I'm going to start out with a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That will be the card base. There will be a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 7 1/2 by 5, scored at 3 3/4. To save some time, I have stamped the season greetings on the bottom of the front panel with the fold on the left side, and I stamped some tree images on the inside. This will be adhered right to the center of the card base. I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Seal adhesive. This is a new adhesive in the new annual catalog, and I have found great success if I go very lightly and an ever so softly check at the end. As I mentioned, this is going to be centered on the postcard, so I'm going to look at both sides and top and bottom for equal spacing on all 4 sides. Then the next layer will be Seaside Spray cardstock, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. So I've cut that down so you just have a slight border of the white. I'm going to run this through the cut and emboss machine with the Evergreen Forest 3D designer or embossing folder. You're going to place the cardstock in here, run it through your machine, and it is going to add a beautiful embossed image to that cardstock. Just love that 3D tree image. As I mentioned, this is going to be placed down here, but I actually don't want to cover up the sentiment. So what I'm going to do is take and tear a portion of the bottom piece of this cardstock off. I do need to verify that I've tore it high enough to make the sentiment visible. This again will be adhered with adhesive. I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. And as I mentioned, a light pressure and an ever so light check is what I need to do to get good results. Now I'm just going to look at the top and the 2 sides for equal spacing. As I mentioned, it's just an ever so lightly border there. The next layer is going to be cardstock vellum. I've cut this piece at 2 1/2 by 4. It comes 8 1/2 by 11. You get 10 sheets in a package, and it's a thicker vellum cardstock. The dies I'm using for this card are the North Pole Wonder dies. There's a beautiful tag die in there, and when you run this through your machine, it's going to come out with a stitched zigzag on the bottom and the hole in for the ribbon or the cording. But I don't want to stop there. I want to run that through the same folder, the Evergreen Forest folder. When you do that, with vellum, you get a beautiful white image on the vellum. So now I'm going to place this down next. A lot of times when you apply or adhere your vellum down, you can see the adhesive through it. So I'm going to just place the vellum or the adhesive in a couple different locations. But before I do that, you have an option to keep the zigzag, or you can tear that bottom edge off to get the same look as the Seaside Spray cardstock. So for the mini glue dots that I'm going to adhere this, I'm going to place one right by the hole for the ribbon, and then I'm going to place a couple on it'd be the right side, because I'm going to put another image there. Then I'm going to look for a densely populated area over here and put a mini glue dot. Then I'm going to place this right on the card, and you can place this higher or lower, and there I have that adhered. The next, what I'm going to do is cover up this area with a piece of ribbon, and this ribbon is the Seaside Spray 1/4 inch metallic ribbon, and it's got a silver metallic thread through it. Very pretty. I leave my ribbon on the spool, that way when I make my knot or my bow, I save on ribbon. You don't waste as much ribbon. And then this is going to be adhered with a mini glue dot. So I bring the ribbon knot to the mini glue dot. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool to help me pick that up. And that's going to go over right over the top. The last piece I want to put on is a silver foil deer. And the foil is 2 by 3, and I am using a die from the same die that the tag comes from. It is the North Pole Wonder die set. So I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine, and it will cut out the deer and it has a beautiful embossed image. I am going to use dimensionals to adhere this just to give it a little bit of a dimensional look. I'm only going to put 2 dimensionals on. I'm not going to worry about putting dimensionals on the details part. And then I'm going to place this down on the card, and you get a beautiful, beautiful card with the seaside spray. I'm combining 2 Stampin' Up! Colors to get a new name. You can change the colors. This one is using Early Espresso and copper foil and using the Thinking of You, and you get a whole different look by changing the colors. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you found me via YouTube, look in the comments section for a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supply list, measurements, and instructions for this project. There'll be a PDF tutorial you can download. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the red box under the video. If you would like to order Stampin' Up! Products and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to have you contact me or place an order on my online store. If you use my host code, you'll receive extra thank you gifts. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed creating this project with me. Stay safe and stay healthy.